Hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nightfall in Amsterdam. Tonight we are going to have an interesting meeting at the Secret Sept. And well, yeah, Air is kind of sitting on the stoop outside of the a little cabin in front of a spring. She's in lupus, just kind of sitting there over the water, like looking in.
And somewhere not too far away, she will probably smell Miranda before she fully realizes she's there. Miranda's just walking up to the shore, sitting down, kind of just staring out at the lake, kind of just soaking in all the changes of late. She doesn't look like Air remembers her. She's not that sexy, flirty Hispanic woman look anymore. She is now very much a Norse warrior look. Sides of her head are shaved. There's numerous braids in her hair. And she's got a big, thick, old book.
All right. Arrow kind of cock her head in lupus and start patting around to the side of the spring that Miranda is on slowly. And
As she, as she
she'll
approaches, she'll hear Miranda saying some words in very old Nordic as she's trying to read this book.
she'll pat on up and kind of stick her nose pretty close to Miranda, kind of sneaking up on her, as it were, giving her a good
When
sniff.
she gets this like sudden nose, for a split second she thinks it's Gunnar, and she starts to lean in, and then she's like, "That's not his." Oh, and she kind of like slowly turns, and she recognizes the wolf, and she's like, "I Chihuahua. I did not realize this was part of your territory too."
And she's sniffing at her, like not growling, but sniffing at her.
I'm just reading the book. I am not do nothing tonight, I promise.
And she just kind of walks around to the other side and sits down.
Miranda swallows hard and starts reading over it again. She doesn't know a whole lot, but she knows like the first 5 sentences. And she's kind of piecing that together to read further. And it's a very inexperienced tongue of this Old Norse, but she's definitely trying. But it might sound a little weird with a Hispanic accent.
After a few minutes, she will shift to her breed form, and now beside Miranda is Air. Strange place to see you.
Ay, pichi chingazo. Wait, I hear you. Ah, that means that was you that night. That, oh, you. Ay,
Well,
caramba.
yeah, it was me, but I didn't know you at that point. And you're kind of traipsing around on by my cousin's camp, so defense mode went up.
I can understand that. I tend to just kind of end up where I am needed. See,
Funny how that works, huh?
mm, I have always been kind of blessed in that ways.
Yeah. Well, that's a lucky thing to be able to do.
But now it makes sense why you did not be nice and friendly to me when I say you a good puppy and try to be friendly because you are a person and
We don't like being called puppies.
you are a very beautiful wolf though. See?
She just kind of shrugs.
I did not expect to see you around here.
This is my home. She kind of points to the cabin on the other side of the spring. I live right there.
Oh, I didn't know we are neighbors. I am living over there, and she points at Gunnar's cabin.
So I hear. She kind of raises an eyebrow.
Why? We had a very good night, and I think he really likes me.
I think we all had a good night that night.
See, it was a
Maybe.
very good night. Yeah.
She says maybe and she's just kind of like hesitant with the maybe. Yeah.
It is definitely a life-changing evening.
It was a strange evening. I'll say I learned a few things that well, I learned not to trust the Fae folk. They do weird things.
They were faithful there?
Well, considering Samantha was telling you about a dude with cloven feet that none of us could see, yeah, I'm going to say it's safe to assume that. I mean, the word satyr was thrown around a few times later that night.
You mean I had the sexes with a fairy?
Oh, oh! It was just like, oh. Yeah, I would guess so.
Oh, that was an even more stranger night than I thought.
Yeah, yeah. All kinds of debauchery occurred. I may have drank way too much, consumed some other things. um,
Eh, mm,
I've been
yes.
on a little trip.
I have kind of been on that ever since that night. It's almost like a perpetual, like another level of existence.
Yep, that would be a trip.
See, I have. I think Connor might actually like really love me.
Well, that would be, I suppose that would be a good thing if you're all about that. And she kind of looks over, basing on the changes, I'm going to assume that you're about that, assuming those were your choice.
He, most of the changes have been at his request, but
I see.
apparently I am the first woman that he take to his cabin in 100 years, as they tell me.
She just kind of gets this like cringy look, like this is not something she wants to think about. I wouldn't know.
That is what they has told me. I, uh, I have not asked him because it does not matter, but when they tell me that, it makes me feel very good and that he really does care.
She'll give Miranda a nod. I mean, when I talked to him, when I got back, he seemed like he was in a strangely good mood.
Apparently, um, he also likes to braid hair, which I did not expect.
Well, I mean, all things considered, I guess it's not that strange.
He braids my hair every night unless I stay down with Rose as a little girls' night out.
Oh, you know Rose.
See, he says she is my sister now.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah, I haven't been down to see Rose in a while. Not since she first got here. Been very busy myself, though, unfortunately.
I've been trying to help her learn how to give kisses, and 'cause she's very nervous and she's afraid to like go out and try with other people. So I am helping her learn.
Oh, I mean, I can't really recall. I don't know much on her background, but I know she came here with somebody that seemed to be on Gunnar's shit list.
I think
So,
he is dead now. If I understand things from what Rose has said to me.
no, what was his name? Steig. I think that was what his name was.
See, I am fairly certain that he is dead.
Well, I guess whatever he did, he deserved it. He
He was
kind of
very
seemed a very like a cold, crabby
he was
man, but I didn't
very
really interact with him. I only saw him but briefly.
He was a very cruel monster.
That's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
But she is better now and she is in a much safer place and she's getting to
Mhm.
be more happy. She's even doing the seamstressing on some of the outfits that they got me. So that night, like actually the next night or is it 2 nights later? I don't remember specifically because the first few days was kind of all blending in together.
They did kind of blend together.
But he had them go out and go shopping to bring me clothes. For me, I could have gone and got my own clothes from the crypt, but they went and got me clothes for me, and they
The
actually
crypt. You are you telling me you sleep in a cemetery? You slept in a cemetery? That's fucking weird.
that's where she wanted to stay.
I don't know who
Tell
she
me,
is. I'm
tell
sorry.
me, if you heard the wolf that means you are a werewolf. Oh, that is why you look at me funny when I say that, or kind of get that angry look. I am sorry.
Angry look.
When I was talking about eating the werewolf brain of the Magnussen person,
Oh, oh. And she laughs. She laughs. Well, that changes things.
see, I actually have his skull still from when he was in the big woofy ship, but with the man arms.
Magnuson, huh?
See,
She
Gunnar,
kind of reaches off to a little like pouch to her side and she opens it and she pulls out what appears to be bones. They're small bones, like knuckle bones, and they have runes on them. These belong to a Magnuson too. And the runes actually, like if you look at them close enough, the runes are drawn, like they're carved in, but they're also filled in and painted with blood, so they're more visible.
Do you make these or did somebody make them for you?
I made them.
They're quite beautiful.
I would say so. Made of the bones of my family's enemies.
So that means we're almost like sisters then. If the Manusons are your enemies, and they're obviously, I guess, my enemies too because of Gunnar, and so that makes us like almost family.
Well, I mean, Gunnar is family. It's a very long timeline to fill in, but
You are actually related to him.
my great, 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 so on and so forth grandfather was Gunnar's brother.
Oh, so that means
I'm not sure if he talked about his brother much, but
muy
yes.
poquito. But that means oh my goodness. If if that works, that will oh my goodness.
If what works.
The ritual next month. We have I do not know the details as specifically at the moment. We are still working them out. Um, ay caramba!
Seem surprised.
I did not expect him to go this route, but I am surprised and irritated and honored and excited and a little scared.
Scared?
See,
What do you have to be scared of?
well, for one, when he is in a big, like, wolf with the man arms
Okay.
uh, shape, he is very big and it kind of tears you apart.
Did you just she just stops and she's like, "Oh, too much information. Too much information." And she just kind of puts her hand on her face.
But I have a feeling that the ritual in December may involve that shape, and I am not entirely certain how it is going to work on how things are going to work.
I can't say I know anything about
No, no.
this ritual, and I'm not sure I need to know.
Oh, I am certain that at some point, especially after December, the ritual's effects will become apparent. Oh, that is kind of a what you call the words, the pun.
The
And she kind of
bomb.
seems like really kind of happy with herself.
She, she just like raises an eyebrow and you
Do you
know,
not get it? Oh,
I'm
I did not tell you the rest of it. I don't know if I'm not certain if I should say something because I don't know if he's. We don't know if he's going to work yet or no.
well, why don't you wait to see with whatever you're doing whether it works or not? I don't know what it is, and if it works, well, then I guess you can tell me about it then.
See,
Yeah. Oh,
I am very excited for it though, but it's a big thing. is very big. Not just him, but the whole scene.
Oh,
This,
oh, Miranda. She's kind of like, no, no. Oh, she kind of makes like this face, like that's. I don't need to know this about him.
sorry, I forget that you are related to him. To Grande Abuela.
he he's taught me some things. We have some good conversations.
Do you guys
One of
ever
the,
talk about me?
I mean, you've only just got here not that long ago. He did mention you were here, and the whole bit about you trying on clothes.
Oh, so that's when he told you was that night? Oh. Did he tell you about the present he got for me?
She shakes her head.
She gets up and whistles, and a crow comes flying from Gunnar's cabin's area over to her. It's black, but it has a white chest.
Oh, she kind of looks to the bird.
His name is Beowulf.
Beowulf.
See, Gunnar said that is a very strong name.
Yeah, it is. Interesting choice.
He said I could name it what I want, and I wanted to give it a name that can ties into his history, and that I really do not know a lot of the history of the Nordic people, so I only know very
Well,
few names. So Beowulf, he said, was a good one to at least know.
you know the story of Beowulf.
I watched it in a movie theater once.
Okay, so you've got the basis of it down. Uh,
He stayed fighting until the very end.
well, there's some truth to some stories, right?
See, that's very true.
Well, in our reality, Beowulf was like me.
That
She just kind of smiles.
wow. So you could
Yes,
do this sort of things that he could do.
I
Truly
mean,
are gifted.
we all have our own gifts and strengths and weaknesses. So, it's I don't claim to be obviously directly descended, but he's definitely like me,
I
or
wonder if
so.
Gunnar knew him.
I couldn't say. Uh, it's an old story, though. He could.
I'll have to ask him later.
Yeah, you should. What's the worst that's going to happen? He says no.
See, although I have
Hmm.
to make sure that I am not being sultry, otherwise the answers will no will be very different.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Oh. Have you gotten to check the area around out at all, or?
only a little bit. I have ended up sleeping a lot during the day more than I am usual. I don't know if that is just because of the changes from stuff.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to be up all day if you're up all night.
I have been staying up all night a lot lately. That is actually very true. Oh, that reminds me, I have to go somewhere tonight. I almost forget it.
Oh, adventure time for you?
No, it is some of the local people like me. We are looking into this something.
People like you looking into something.
There is this is a strange thing, a strange signal. I guess is what they say it is. I'm not very good with the
Mm.
electronics, so I
Oh,
don't know the specifics.
oh, like a radio signal or something.
See something like that.
Okay, I'm technologically impaired myself. Like I can use a cell phone, basic computer stuff, and that's about it. Like I can search Google.
Yeah, electronics do not like me like that much. Uh, I have to like wrap my hands up with lots of padding to be able to use the telephone. Because even that little simple thing, it shocks me. Like with electricity,
So you're cursed when it comes to electricity or electronics.
electronics. See, I suppose if there was an electronics that I wanted to break, I suppose I could do that and break it by touching it a lot. But I don't know, want to get electrocuted that much, you know?
I mean, being able to break electronics can be handy at points.
I suppose so.
If you want to cover your tracks.
Oh, I have a feeling I will become very handy tonight because I have a very good ability to be able to see where things are. Did Tuomo speak to you about the power source for your new home?
What?
The power source. I don't know. He did not say what you call it. But it's like the a magical center that
Oh, like kind of like the church.
see.
No, I don't recall it being said though. There's the last time I saw Tumo before the Halloween thing, things were kind of hectic.
Mm. Well, I have told him that I am working on creating a focus. Is I would call it a focus. Um, a thing to create that energy that you need, the space, this thing. It just needs a location to put it.
Oh, I see. I see. I don't know how my people feel about that, to be honest. Some of us are not so open with these kind of things and outsiders,
Well,
but
it is an opera if they want it. I have already started making it. If I am growing the flower for it right now. It's a unique flower.
flower.
See,
Interesting. No, I will make sure that
but it
I
has to be
mention it
in the
to the
dark, so
elders at
on the
least so they
ground.
can decide.
It has to stay in the dark. So either on in like a cave or something like that. Or
Hmm.
you can build a room, I suppose, with no windows.
Well, like I said, I can bring it to my higher ups and see what they have to say, but we're still looking at places. How'd you hear about that anyway?
Tuomo was telling us that some of that you guys were needing the help. So some of us were helping with the food, sending food to your peoples. Some of us were trying to help in other ways.
Oh, I I had no idea. Hmm.
I am very gifted when it comes to creating life, making things grow. Like this. And she kind of waves her hand over a small area between them, and you see the grass and whatnot start growing up quickly and
That
full
is
of
amazing.
vibrant.
And she kind of reaches over and touches the grass just to make sure it's not some sort of illusion.
It's real and solid and feels strong and healthy.
That is awesome. It's a really useful gift.
I can also heal um, if people need healing.
I know how to do that, though I'm sure it's different than how you do.
Oh, see, probably. I just, oh, no, you were not there when the prior was hurt by the man from the church. Um,
Ilmari,
see,
I know
he
him.
had his face very broken um, by a demand from the, I think he said the Knights Templar.
Yeah, there was some kind of weird spirit in the spirit world over there.
No, this is a man. He declared war on the anybody that is not Christian, and that includes if you are Christian and just like a kind person, like the Jesus says to be. Like even then, you are still not welcome, and you are their enemy.
No, so the typical war between the Christians and the pagans, the one that's been going on for a while.
See, but he is making it more violent. The first part of the war, it was not even between. Honestly, it was not actually the Christians or the pagans doing it. It was the snake people in the sewers.
Oh, the Sedites.
They were setting uh, each other so that peoples were not watching what they were doing.
Well, I don't think they'll be much of an issue. Um, myself and a few others took care of them.
That is very reassuring.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they were stirring up a lot of trouble. We found them. We got our hands on them because they were kidnapping people and drugging them. I'm not entirely sure what they were doing.
That is no bueno.
But we encountered a room full of drugged up humans. They're safe now, though.
That's very good. I can show you the flower that I am working on.
I would like that.
And she gets up, hefts the book up into her arms, and heads towards Gunnar's cabin real quick.
Oh, Air will just get up and follow her.
She'll go inside. The bird will fly up into his little nest in the corner. She set the book down on the bed, and she's going to pick up the smaller of two pots and the flower in it looks like it's almost pulsing like a pulse, like somebody's pulse kind of thing. But it's a very beautiful red and orange flower.
That's definitely some amazing stuff. She's kind of looking at the eyeing the flower up. She looks like she wants to touch it, but she's not going to. Like she actually actively puts her hand up and starts moving a finger towards it and then just stops.
You can touch it, just be gentle. I've never had anybody else touch it before. It should be okay.
She kind of gently with one finger like reaches out and lightly brushes a petal.
It is like super soft, skin soft, but it has some resilience to it.
This can't be an easy task.
I have been growing this flower for over a decade, and this is just one part of it. The most of it is over there, is in the bigger pot.
Oh gods. That long?
This part I have been speeding up, so it's only been a month, maybe two.
Still, that's impressive.
I found it when I had my awakening. Okay. Not sure how else to say it. When my magic become real, so I can't use it.
Okay. Okay. My I have people like you in my family as well. In fact, both of my siblings.
Oh, so you understand very much then. That's bien. But yes, see, I am making this because I figure um, I do not know much about it, but I am assuming you need a focal point for the magic and the energy.
Okay.
That is how we work. We have places around the city that have these kind of focal points.
Right, right. Like I
So I
said, like the church.
see. So I
Yes.
figure creating one that can be used for you wherever you decide you are going to make home would be helpful.
I'm sure that like I said, I can say something and it's this is definitely quite the feat. I'm not sure how the others will feel about it. A lot of us that have reservations about magic users. Um, but I'm one of the few that don't really look at it too skeptically because, well, like I said, my siblings and I've got cousins that make magic too.
And she sets the flower back down. I can do most of the effort. I am not sure if I will need to kill a powerful spirit like they did for the church. But I am thinking that if you can get the spirit to agree willingly to do it, it might help. I
There
will
are
have to
many
talk to.
ways to deal with spirits.
I will probably have to talk to Tuomo about what is the best way. But I wanted to help if I can. If you do not want my help, that is okay too.
Well, I think it might help if we hold a conversation with those who actually have a say in the matter.
See, of course, just let me know when.
Um,
You know where to find me.
I do. I do. I suppose we can, I mean, if you need to talk to Tumo, and I need to talk to someone who, on my end, who matters to arrange something so we can all hold a conversation that shouldn't be too difficult.
Well, he's the one that knows the better how to fully enchant something, which is filling it with the magic
Yes, he
better
does.
than I do. I am just starting with the basic part of it and working from there up.
Okay, okay. Yeah, Tumo seems to know quite a bit about putting magic into objects. Um, I know, I believe Tumo is welcome here, as is the one person I would bother bringing into this conversation, considering I met them both here. I wouldn't go and bring just anybody here.
No, see, I understand that. I can meet them elsewhere too. I am not forbidden from leaving.
I didn't think you were.
I do, after all,
I'm
have a herbalism shop that I have to make sure that the people keep running right, so that I can paper things with something other than gold trinkets.
What about gold trinkets?
Oh, I have these really neat gold coins, and she goes over and opens a little pouch, and she has like,
Oh, from the theater, right?
yeah, that's how I got these books. And she points to several large, heavy, thick books around
Huh.
the room.
Those look kind of old.
They are very old. They predate some of the many of the translations from the era. I think it is called.
The Edda?
See,
Eddas?
th-
Okay.
these are before that, and this one is actually in that language from before then. So Gunnar
I
is teaching me how to read it.
I was gonna say I can't read that, but
The
don't
others
feel
are in
surprised that
Latin.
he can.
The others are in Latin, so they're not as hard to translate.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's where does one stumble upon something like that? I mean,
I
certainly
found
not anything I've seen at the library.
I found them at the name market.
Night market.
See,
I
oh,
must I must have missed
and there
that.
are, okay. So there are, you have wolves in the city who are not very nice, but I figured out that the wolves glow bright, and the people like me, we kind of a sparkle. But this Randall, and she pulls out the magazine with his signature. This fellow, he's not very nice. He is a dangerous man. I do not trust him.
How do
He's
you assume so? I mean,
because
I can't assume I know every wolf in the city,
he
but
was, his peppers were not very nice. They were very mean. We had just come from the night market, and I was asking him like, "So what are you?" And they're like, "You cannot ask a question here." And I'm like, "But everybody
were
from the night
there
market,
humans around?
anybody that was there was from the night market, and the night market is a supernatural friendly place."
Supernatural friendly, yes, but is it
He
possible that
could
there
have,
were regular folk there?
I suppose, but he could have just whispered the answer to me, or he could have said, "I am a Mexican," or "I am a gringo," or something. He didn't.
Well, um,
I didn't say, "Are you a werewolf? Are you a vampire?"
how did you phrase it exactly?
Something like, "So what are you?"
All
Because you are
right,
very bright.
Miranda, you are a wonderful individual, but I have to say this. You are sometimes quite loud.
I am loud?
not not in a bad way, of course. I mean, people easily hear you, and with your accent, well, I mean, it's a pretty easy one to pick up on and pay attention to, as it's not common here. So something to think about, maybe, is tone it down or even try to use code.
Oh. I will keep that in the minds.
It'll help you in the long run. Because if you don't know what you're dealing with, well,
But
it
when they
could put
take
you in
me to
danger.
when they take me to the taxi cab, they tell me that not all wolves live in the forest.
That's true. There are some that dwell in the city.
So I do not know if he is a friend or foe of yours, but he gives you somebody to either strengthen or keep an eye on. Maybe. I mean, no, no.
That I mean, that name isn't familiar to me, but again, I don't know every wolf in the city. That is definitely something to keep in mind, as I've heard previously that there are others, but I haven't had contact with them myself.
He is more grumpier than you were when I first met you. He is much more grumpier.
That's unfortunate. Though there are plenty of grumpy wolves. Though I urge you to be careful. Um, some of them are very, very bad individuals.
I have to get to the meeting, so I will talk to you again more later. Air, see, no?
Yeah, yeah. You know where to find me. If I'm not
Okay.
here, well, just keep
Vale,
checking.
chica.
Um, and with that, Air will give Miranda a nod, and she will move back into her cabin. Uh, yeah, I'm assuming that's it then. So, thank you, players, for playing, watchers for watching. Bada bing.